And so today we are talking about peace. And this month, it is all of our talks, all of our focus is about action. It is about how we put these concepts into action. For what we know is that these things, it is one thing to understand them intellectually, to read about them. It is another thing to experience them and then to put them into action out in the world. Anytime I talk about peace, the first thing that comes to my mind is the concept of forgiveness. Because in my experience, without forgiveness, there is no peace. And it was amazing. I had, right on Monday, I met with someone, and they asked me a question. And it is a question that I have asked in one way or another many times before. It is a question that I have heard other people ask many times before. I've had other people ask me. I've heard people ask in my classes to the instructors. So this is a question that comes up all the time. And for the first time, I got a new knowing about it. Get excited. I was. I came out of the office like ding, telling everyone that I had this new awareness. And so I'm excited to share it with you. And in order to do so, I'm going to start with something that we've looked at before, but it's important to lay it as the groundwork for this understanding. The question that was asked of me was, someone was driving by a street. And it was a street where a former partner lived, a partner of many years who now they were apart. And the thought arose in this person, how could they have done that to me? That was the thought that arose. And the question that this person had for me was, when will I finally forgive? Because I thought I had. But when does that finally happen? And here is the question. I have asked that very thing. I have said, but I was willing to forgive, and I've said, I forgive. And then I have an experience of unforgiveness. Something comes up, and a thought arises, and there's an unforgiving thought. Right? Guess what? Just wait. Just get out your pens. It's gonna be good. Okay, you ready? Ready? Okay, watch this. Okay, first we gotta lay the groundwork. So I know we've looked at this before. We're gonna look at it again, okay? Everybody has a belief system, or BS. Okay, everybody has belief system or BS. So inside of this circle, so right, we all have our circles, okay? Nola has a circle, and I have a circle, and John has a circle, and Bedford has a circle. We all have the circle. And inside the circle is the things that we believe, the things that we know to be true. Inside my circle is chocolate is amazing. That's inside my circle. Got it? Also inside my circle is that I am an eternal being. Also inside my circle is I am a spiritual being having a human experience. Okay? So we all have that, right? So we've got that. Now, next to that circle are things inside of this circle. This is your adjacent possible. In our adjacent possible are things that we don't believe yet, but they are close enough to our belief system that we can stretch into them, right? Or we can get there from our belief system. We're growing into those beliefs. Outside of that circle is our not adjacent, not possible, which means too far away from my belief system, I cannot get there from here. So inside of that, or say, so in my not adjacent, not possible is salmon is good. Stand it. It's in my not adjacent, not possible. There's no way I can like salmon from where I am today. Got it? Okay. So here's where the forgiveness part comes in. I believe that at a certain point, we are looking at forgiveness in an unhelpful way. By the time you ask the question, by the time I ask the question, when will I forgive? I thought I already did. It is time to let go of the specifics. Okay, here's the thing. I remember being in one of my Unity classes, I can't remember which one, and the instructor said that part of what we talk about in Unity is you forgive once and then it's over. You've already forgiven. It's done. And all kinds of hands went up. Because we went, I'm sorry, what? That is definitely not my experience, right? Well, here's the thing. Once you have truly decided to forgive a past event, that you are willing, and then you voice it. So once you've truly decided that you want to forgive, got it? You are done. No matter how many times the unforgiving thought arises. Now here's why. This is what they said before, and I was like, no, doesn't quite feel right, but here's why. By the time we ask the question, it is time to let go of the specific. What we are doing is focusing on a specific person, a specific event, a specific happening in our life. But guess what? Forgiveness is a byproduct of the work that we do. I'm going back. What we're doing here, what we're working on, is knowing the truth of who we are, right? When we know the truth of who we are, the closer we get to the truth of who we are, when that gets inside of our belief system, forgiveness happens. It's a byproduct of it. We don't have to forgive anymore because it didn't happen. By the time inside of your belief system is that time doesn't exist and only this moment is real, do you need to forgive a past event? No. By the time you know that by the time I know that Bedford and I are one, do I need to forgive him? No. We're one. By the time I know I am one with God, one with Source, do I need to forgive anybody? Does God, Source, good, see bad? No. See fault? See blame? No. So, here's the deal. By the time we ask the question, how many times do I have to forgive? Remember when they asked that question to that dude that lived a while ago? JC? You know? Yeah, him. They said, how many times do I need to forgive? He said 70 times 7. He meant forgive without ceasing. But here's the deal. Yes, we do need to forgive 70 times 7, but we don't need to actively participate in the trying beyond the moment. And you will know the moment where you really want to forgive, where it's true. By the time you get to that space, the specifics are unimportant. When an unforgiving thought comes into your mind after that point, it's about going, oh, there's the thought. Here's what happens. We think the unforgiving thought happens and it's us. Is it us? No.
It's ego.
It's right. It's a condition. Right. Good job. It's a conditioned pattern that still has energy and can exist in us because inside of our belief system is not the truth of who we are. Do you feel that? And that is why we talk about the answer being our own work. Going inward. Finding the truth of who we are. Actively participating in self-actualization and self-growth. And then forgiveness happens. Right? Because what happens, something happens. We drive by the street again. The street where old so-and-so lives. And we notice at first the thought comes, how could they do that to me? The thought comes. And we go, oh, isn't that funny? Look at that thought. And then we drive by the street. And we look and we go, oh, the thought's not there. And then we drive by the street. And we look down and we go, thank you. Thank you. So an old experience arises so that we can experience the newness of who we become because of our work. Yeah. Let's just sit with that for a second. I know. She went like this. That was good. That's the toot. I'm slamming a ball in it. You okay? Okay.
Repeat it.
Okay, we're gonna do it again. So let's repeat it because it's really big. It's really big. By the time you ask, how many times do I need to forgive this person I thought I already did, it is time to let go of the specifics. Now, forgiveness will be a natural occurrence from the work that you do on coming to know the truth of who you are. We do not need to continue to beat our, but this is what happens. We have the thought, how could they do that to me? And then I have the thought, God, I thought I forgave them. I thought I forgave them. Remember, I was sitting there. I remember I like burned the paper at the burning bowl ceremony and I let them go. And I thought I did it. I thought I did it. Now what's happening? We're giving energy and attention to this reality that actually is already gone. It actually is already gone. It doesn't exist anymore. But we think because the thought arises, there's more work to do. There's not. Now the only work to do is mine. Staying in my lane. Right? And that's where the adage that Byron Katie talks about, where she says there's three kinds of business. There's God's business, there's your business, and then there's my business. Three kinds of business. Whose business is it, what that person did in the past? Their business. Whose business is it, what I do right here, right now? My business. Whose business is it that the unforgiving thought leaves? God's business. The eternal part of us business. I don't mean God, the being outside of us. I mean God that we are one with. The totality that is all. That thought leaving finally, not my business. Because that's not me. Thoughts arise. Ever try to stop them? It's fun. Fun game. That thought is coming, and there's no more work to do on it. And you will know that. You'll know it. You can trust that. Isn't that awesome? So we let go of the specifics. The people, the event, whatever. Now, that is most unforgiveness. When we talk about most unforgiveness, we're talking about past. Right? Now, want to know how we get rid of having a past to forgive? We start forgiving in real time. Right? We start forgiving in real time. How do we forgive in real time? That means the moment the person does the thing they shouldn't do, the thing that hurt us, the moment that happens, we become responsible for forgiveness in the moment, which is the cleanest way to exist. So that you don't have to worry about forgiveness work a year from now on what this dude did today. I got enough to forgive in my past. Let me just do today, right now. Right? Let me just choose to forgive today, right now, before tomorrow comes. Here's how we do this. It's a prayer I adapted from A Course in Miracles. Can you believe it? I adapted a prayer. Okay, but it goes, forgiving in real time. You are an expression of the divine, innocent and pure, all is forgiven and released. In the moment it happens. The prayer from the Course in Miracles is, you are Christ, innocent and pure, all is forgiven and released. That's what I use because I have an understanding of Christ as the divine seed that is within all of us. And that divine perfection that lives in all of us is blameless, pure, innocent. And so in that moment, you proclaim the unreality of what just happened. Because anything that is negative or bad is unconsciousness, and it doesn't exist. It's not real. It's not the truth of them. Only the truth of anything survives. Anything. Can you feel that? So forgive in real time. I say, you are Christ, innocent and pure, all is forgiven and released. See how quickly that comes off my tongue? Doesn't matter the words you say. use the words that work for you, but what you are trying to do is recognize that no matter what a person is doing or how they are showing up or what they are choosing to do in this moment, you recognize that there is divine perfection within them, and that is actually the only thing that really exists. Anything else is their fear, anything else is a coping mechanism, anything else is the ego, and the ego doesn't live, it doesn't exist beyond this moment. Does that make sense? So whatever words you need to use, you declare it within your mind. And you do that because you don't want to have to do forgiveness work later. But don't worry if you have to, because you will. Because as you work on yourself, guess what happens? Forgiveness. Okay. I love this. This is from a Unity text, the revealing word. And it says, love is an inner quality that sees good everywhere and in everybody. It insists that all is good, and by refusing to see anything but good, it causes that quality finally to appear. So do you feel that? That's what love is. Love is an inner quality that insists that everything is good. So here you are, your Bedford is, doing something bad to me. Here he is doing something bad to me. But the love within me declares that only good exists. And only good can exist. And by insisting that that is so, the negative thing falls away and only good finally appears in Bedford. We've been waiting, Bedford. I mean, come on. I'm teasing. Bedford's the best person I know, for any of you that don't know. But I mean, I'm good too. Anyway, you see the talk before. I'm not the best person you know, the best person I know. Let's go back. Okay, so love is an inner quality that sees good everywhere and in everybody. It insists. Love insists that everything is good. And that is what you are doing when you say you are an expression of the divine, innocent, and pure. All is forgiven and released. That is the inner quality of love that you are speaking and demanding, insisting that only good exists. And the other stuff falls in the light of that insistence. Yeah, okay. And lastly, I will leave you with a quote from A Return to Love. Marianne Williamson's book, A Return to Love, talks about forgiveness in a really beautiful way. It is a reflection on A Course in Miracles, all of which talk about forgiveness in a beautiful way. Pain doesn't stem from the love we're denied by others, but rather from the love that we deny them. Pain does not stem from the love that we are denied by others, but rather from the love that we deny them. I'm not hurt because you don't love me. I am hurt because I don't love you. I feel pain because I'm not loving you when I see what you've done that I need to forgive. In a case like that, it feels as though we are hurt by someone else, by what someone else did, but what has really occurred is that someone else's closed heart has tempted us into closing our own. So the pain comes from the fact that my heart has closed to you. Why did my heart close? I looked at you, your heart was closed, and by looking at that, instead of insisting upon your good, my heart closed. I'm moving out of the way so people can get this out. And I will post these on Facebook also. So we'll post the slides on Facebook. So can you feel that? These are all tools. These are all tools. Once this is inside of your belief system, will you ever need to forgive again? No. Never again. That is what we're working toward. That is what we're working on. That is what we're doing here. That is what we're doing when we look inward. when we meditate, that's the work. So let go of specifics. Whose job is the specifics? God's business. Okay, let's take a moment to pray together. So what we recognize is that we are not praying to or beseeching a being or an entity outside of us, but rather we are intentionally tapping into raising our energy, raising our consciousness to the awareness and the knowing that we are one with that energy, that presence that we call Source, that we call God. And so in this moment, let us close our eyes and take a breath. I am committed to peace. In this moment, I allow the peace that I am to rise to the surface. I do not need to struggle for it, to strive for it. I am simply allowing the peace that passes understanding that is available in this moment and in every moment to rise up. I breathe into it. I am willing to forgive. I am willing to forgive everyone. I am open. I am present. I consciously participate in my growth, in my understanding, in my awareness of the truth of me. Let us take one more breath together. And as you are ready, you can open your eyes. We have created a prayerful, sacred space, and we carry it forward with us into this next moment.
Wow.